know that there's something so special about you and me, babe. So just say the words, cause you know what it means to me, babe.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Babes in Sports podcast. We are so excited you're here. My name's Jamie Hersch.
I'm Tory Z. Roy. We're two friends navigating being mothers, wives, and successful women in the demanding, male-dominated world of sports.
Yes. So in case you're new here, welcome. And if you're not new here, thanks so much for listening. We have been blown away by the amount of support and encouragement that we've had in this early stage of trying this new podcasting thing for the very first time. We are both professionals who work in the male-dominated world of sports, as Tory said, but also trying to be moms. My quick background is I've done studio hosting and reporting for just about every sport there is for the past 15 years or so. And am now currently focusing mostly on play-by-play with the National Women's Soccer League. So that's really what most of my attention is on right now. Tor.
So dope. It's so good that you can actually focus on one sport, right? Instead of just trying to like dabble in baseball and dabble in hockey and make sure you're getting all these names. Like it's like a breath of fresh air. So for me, I'm working on our US Open coverage at the moment as we start to dip into NFL season. As a former tennis player, former college athlete, tennis is my first love language, but it was an easy transition to be at ESPN for the next 15 years after that. So yeah, we've kind of seen it all. We've done it all. And that's what makes our experiences so similar, but also different. Like we are so compatible in so many ways, yet in different venues of sports around the world, which is so cool. And I'm really proud that we're friends and we can do this. So thank you.
Yes, of course. I will always say that I will forever think of you during the US Open because of our amazing memories that we've had there. Hashtag honeydews. If you know, you know. And I wish I were there right now. I went last year with my aunt. It was so fun, but it would be great for you and I to one day reconvene at the US Open.
Just experience it and enjoy it. Right.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Because you worked it mostly.
I was working so many years there.
Yeah.
Yeah. That I honestly didn't have a honeydews for the first time until like last year. I had the Froze honeydew.
Ooh.
So anyone going this week, I highly just one though. Those things are strong.
And they're expensive. I think they're like $30 right now. So it'll set you back quite a bit if you end up
They better fill it up.
Fill it up. For real. All right. So before we get into the podcast, just again, kind of recapping what we're doing here. We're going to be sharing our stories as moms and also the pressures of being a mom while working in a male-dominated field. We're hoping to have a lot of really great guests throughout the course of this podcast. Women who are in the sports industry as well, or strong female figures, maybe not even in sports, but just kind of, again, in male-dominated fields. So if you're watching and you are that person or you know that person, please leave a comment and we'll reach out and hopefully we can connect that way. It'll be really fun.
We've learned a lot in the last week, haven't we, James?
Oh, we sure have. If only the viewers / listeners could hear and see what is going on behind the scenes. This is really fun. And also a great encouragement to anyone out there thinking of doing a podcast. Hey, why not? If we can do it, you can too.
Let us fall so you can rise. Okay. That's what we're doing here. That's all. And Jamie, you touched on this earlier. I want to just also take a moment to give a quick shout out to everyone who took some time to listen, comment, send us words of encouragement on starting our show. You have no idea how much that means to us. Like I just hearing it, and even like our closest friends, our family reaching out, like that's so cool because we're so passionate about this. So thank you. And I also want to say how valuable relationships are that we make in this industry. I've had the opportunity to work alongside our editor, Rachel Codner, and now I can call her a dear friend. And Rachel, thank you for being a badass woman in this industry and for being here for us for this crazy journey. So we've got more coming up. Let's go into episode 2, yeah?
Yeah. All right, so today's topic is going to really center around the idea of setting boundaries at work. It is something we talk about, we certainly think about, but do we actually do it? And how have we done it? Did it take us a long time to do it? Are we still not really good at doing it? And so I guess I just wanted to kind of talk to you, Tory, about like the value of saying no. I feel like so often in this industry, and especially if you're a woman in this industry, where opportunities were fewer and farther between, everyone told me throughout my early years, say yes to everything. And I took that to heart, and I did. And I worked overtime in my first job, making $12 an hour. Shout out Madison, Wisconsin, local news, local TV sports. Woo! What a ride. But I said yes to everything. And since then, like, I mean, my schedule, mostly when I was at MLB Network and NHL Network, it was literally all over the place because sports happen every single day, right? So I didn't have a Monday through Friday hardly ever. Like more often than not, I would have a Tuesday, Wednesday off, or I'd have like a Tuesday, Saturday off that work week. And it was crazy before I had kids. And then once I had kids, it got even crazier, right? And so I didn't say no for a long time because I just felt like that team player mentality where I was like, I am going to do what's best for the good of the team, the good of the company. And sure, if someone needs to swap last minute or if they need me to work a double shift, like, of course, yes, I'll make it work at all costs. And those costs ended up getting higher and higher once you have kids, right? Like it ends up being a big stressor in your marriage, frankly. And especially like my husband works a normal job. So it was always him who had to like rearrange his schedule because I was saying yes to every tweak and change that my schedule threw at us. So that's kind of my experience before we get into like how we changed our mindset around that. I want to hear your experience, Tor, about the pressures of saying yes.
1,000%. And I think anyone who has started young in the sports industry, sports media industry, can say that there is this feeling of you're replaceable, right?
Yeah.
So if it's not doing it for the better of the team, it's doing it because if you say no, if you don't seem like you're willing to do whatever it takes to make a show better, to make a small segment in the show better, to just be there, to run the teleprompter at the craziest hours of the day. If you're not willing to do that, then don't worry. Someone is waiting at our front door to take your job. And of course, it's never literally said to you. But back when we started, I would say that it was even a bigger deal to work in sports TV. TV is obviously changing and the landscape is changing. But at that point, it was like, whoa, this is a big deal to be on TV or to, be working behind the scenes on the biggest sports shows in the world, frankly.
Yeah, I mean, you were at ESPN.
So you didn't want to mess up the opportunity.
You started at the top. Like that was every
Sports Center was
stream.
everything,
Yes.
Yeah. So it was already hard enough to get my foot in the door. I didn't want to mess anything up. So yes, you need me to be in at 3 a.m., fine. You're also 22 years old, 23 years old, and you're starting with people who are also the same age. So we're all in it together. It was like college extended. So yeah, for whatever that reason is that it stays with you, it's buried deep.
I would say it took me a long time to feel comfortable saying no. And by a long time, I mean like probably within the last year or two, right? Like I only recently realized like if I don't show up, someone else will do that and it will be okay. And I might miss something, but there's always going to be that next thing, right? There's always going to be that next assignment. There's like the world keeps turning. Even if I'm not there hosting that show or reporting on this assignment. And that, I will say, the craziest part, and now I love telling young people, especially this, the craziest thing that I have learned is that as I say no more, it's like a weird phenomenon. And I'm not saying it's going to happen to everyone every time. But for me, I have found when I say no, oftentimes that will lead to that person, that company, that network asking for another opportunity. Okay, so you can't do this. What about this? And that has been like mind blowing. Like I can say no and they still are going to want me even if they have to work around my schedule a little bit. Like that has been so empowering. And I understand if you're young and you're just starting out, like that may not be there. That privilege might not be there, but I would encourage anyone who feels a little more established in their industry, in their role, to say no every now and then for legit reasons. Your family is a legitimate reason, like your spouse not being able to work around their schedule. Like that's a legit reason for you to be able to say no. Like, no, I need to be home with my kids that day, or no, this is my son's graduation or something like that. Like, that's a legit reason. And when you start saying no, you might actually find that people are going to understand that and they will still accommodate, even if you feel like it's scary to say no.
That is such good advice. And it's almost like, wish somebody had told me that, you know? So because it's true. It's an unspoken thing. It's there. So wouldn't 10 years ago, Jamie would have liked to hear that. So that's what we're trying to say. If anyone's out there that is feeling pressure, feeling overworked, it is okay to say no. Did you ever feel too, Jamie, like, I don't know, sometimes in our industry, there's a boys club, you know, just not going to beat around it. Like it just is like it's been male dominated for a long time. We're finally starting to shift the curve a little bit, but sometimes I feel it's a badge of honor when people talk about all the stuff that they've missed for their job. Have you ever noticed that when it's just like, oh yeah, no, I had to travel for 48 hours straight to get this interview done, but I got it done. And it's like, okay,
Cool.
That's great. If you feel that way, it adds the pressure a little bit in my mind to be like, do I have to do that? Like, I don't want to miss out. Like, do I have to do that?
No, it's not a badge of honor. Yeah. I mean, there are so many ways we could take this conversation because I definitely feel that where it's like people want to sound impressive by being busier or missing more or doing more. And sometimes there's real value in doing less. And that, by that, I mean less work. Like we made a very conscious decision to move our family to Las Vegas from the New York City area where we had been for almost a decade because not for a job, but for family, because I realized that at some point, like I wanted my life to look a certain way and feel a certain way. And while my whole life throughout forever, as long as I can remember, it's been career driven. It's been career oriented. What's going to be best for my career? What makes sense in terms of a next step? At some point, I realized I care more about what my life looks like. And my life is a lot bigger than just my job. Was there ever a work assignment, Tory, that
so funny that you say like
had to say no to?
All the time.
Yeah.
All the time. And I just became okay with it in the last 2 years. Like I would beat myself up about it. I remember I had just had Braxton. I had just come back to work. He was maybe 6 months old, maybe 7, 8 months. And we just brought a nanny in to start working with us. And I got a call like, hey, we have a Josh Allen sit down tomorrow. I need you to be in Buffalo tomorrow in the fall, like in the winter, basically, where the weather is never reliable. And to get there, I would have had to take the first flight out from Newark, which was like a 5 a.m. flight. This nanny was not going to she just couldn't get there at 5 a.m. She's coming from, you know, somewhere in New York in the city, couldn't get there at 5 a.m. And I was just like, I can't. And I felt so guilty for days after that. I ended up just like being able to do it remotely. And it was right before COVID. So it is funny how things work out because that's what my job turned into for like 2-3 years. But I just want to like shake that girl and be like, Tory, like you cannot go to Buffalo tomorrow. You just had a baby. It's really hard.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't know why this is like the first time that I think the industry, sometimes it feels like it's the first time they've ever had to hear that, you know?
Yeah.
And it's just like, but that doesn't make sense. It doesn't. And I'm glad that I'm still the person that they want to be there for a big interview like that. Sometimes it's okay. And you know what? I still got even cooler opportunities after that.
Exactly. Yeah. There's always another game. There's always another assignment. I mean, I have a couple examples, but most recently, like I remember being at the NWSL kind of headquarters where we all call play-by-play and they bring everyone in and we call all the games remotely. So it's kind of cool because you have a little bit of camaraderie with everyone. But I was talking to a few people and I was saying, you know, I'm new here and I feel bad because they asked me to do a couple games in September, but I can't do them. So I'm going to have to say no. Like, how does that work? And they all looked at me like, well, most people are trying to get more games. Like, you don't give up your games. And I sat there like, but I have to, you know? So like, I did. And what's great is my boss and scheduler was like so cool about it. She was like, no, of course, like totally, like we'll figure it out. We've got other people who can do it. And I felt guilty, but I was like, this is just, you know, this is kind of a non-negotiable for me. Like I have to be able to feel like I can put my family first. And if I had something that weekend or travel plans or a big event or something, like you have to be able to say no, and it will be okay. And guess what? I still am going there and they didn't fire me or let me go. You know, I just didn't work those 2 weekends or whatever. So, and it was okay. And then I think the other biggest example that I can think of is like the Stanley Cup final, right? Like that is definitely anytime I got to cover a Stanley Cup final, I was just in awe of how cool that is. You know, I think it's the hardest trophy to win in sports, and it's a grind of 2 months of playoffs every single day. Like it's crazy. And so you see the emotion like pouring out of these players and coaches when they finally hoist the Stanley Cup, and you understand the magnitude of what that trophy really means. And so to be able to cover something like that.
And it's the end of the season for you too. You've been covering the whole season. So it's like everyone is in this together, finishing it together. It's so rewarding.
Yeah. So it's really, really awesome to get to cover assignments like that. But I got pregnant and had a baby at the end of April. And so there was no doubt in my mind, like, I'm not going to the Stanley Cup final in mid-June.
How dare you, Jamie?
Yeah. And so, yes, I missed that Stanley Cup final. That was the epic 7-game back and forth between the Bruins and the Blues. And I would have loved to be there, but I wasn't. I was at home on the couch with my 6-week-old baby. And that was where I was supposed to be. And there was another Stanley Cup final. Turns out it would be a few years because this thing called COVID happened, and I didn't cover it again in 2020 or 2021. But that's probably 11 months when the Stanley Cup would have been going on. And same thing, I wanted to go really badly, but I was like, okay, the Stanley Cup final, for anyone who doesn't know hockey super well, it is a best of 7, and there's all these extra days off for travel and practice and everything. And it can take up to 20 days to complete. So skip ahead to like 2022. And that would have been my first chance to be back full coverage Stanley Cup final. And I just felt like I couldn't be gone that long. Like for anyone who doesn't know that much about hockey, like it's 2.5 weeks if it goes 7 games. That's a long time. It could be up to 20 days actually. It's almost 3 weeks. And I just felt like that was not a thing I could ask my kids and husband to do, is to have me be gone for that amount of time. So I agreed to do half of it. But what ended up happening was I missed the cup clinching game because I only did half of it. And that was really a tough pill to swallow. So that's an example of something that, you know, if I weren't a mom, there was no question. I would have been there through all 7 games if it went 7. Didn't matter. But when you're a mom, you have these dueling interests and your heart is in multiple places at once. And it's just the cross we bear.
But I see that as a blessing that we get to have these passions pulling us in these directions, right? Like it just makes you a more whole person. So that's how I feel about it. And good for you. Good for you for, you know what? It took us way too long, but we had no other way. Like, I just think we're so used to putting our careers first and hard work.
Yeah.
That when you suddenly can't make that your priority, you have to adjust. So we have to forgive ourselves a little bit, you know, and it's okay that we had to take some time to, like let it go. Like, just, it's okay. So we got there. That's all that matters.
Yeah. And just kind of to end this part of our conversation, like I feel like the whole idea of saying no to work is a big deal when you take a step back and look at life in general, right? Like someone told me once, no one ever looks at a tombstone and it says, hardest worker, best employee. Like never. Like this is morbid, right? But like if you think about it, like when we are on our deathbed, like we're not going to think back and say, gosh, I wish I worked harder. I wish I worked more. I wish I said yes more to work. We're going to look back and say, I am so thankful for, work. I am thankful for my work, but I'm also thankful for the balance and the times I had with my family and being able to say yes to those things.
We could go so long on this. So I think this episode deserves a part 2. But if you guys, anyone going through kind of similar feelings, let us know. Hit us up. We finally have our Instagram, Babes in Sports Podcast, at Jamie Hersch, at Zawacki. Let us know what you're thinking. Let us know if you've been through this, times where you had to say no and had a hard time. We're here. Mansplain Moment of the Week. I'm going to go this time because this one has stuck with me for a long time, James, and I would love to hear your thoughts on it. But I had the opportunity to interview Dr. James Andrews for a story a couple years back. For those who might not know, Dr. Andrews is the orthopedic surgeon to the stars. He's operated on Michael Jordan, Tom Brady. The list goes on. He's just the guy you call if you're a pro athlete. I was there to talk to him about his work on Drew Brees, who tore his shoulder labrum back in 2005. So the story I had pitched and was covering was how Drew had written thank you notes to everyone who had impacted him his entire career, like personal handwritten notes. And Dr. James Andrews received the personalized letter, personalized signed football with his name on it, like really nice. Like says a lot about Drew Brees. Pretty cool story. He operated on Drew's shoulder. He essentially saved his career by doing that. So during the interview, the way I had phrased one of the questions included like, oh, the game that Drew got hurt, that ended up being his last game for the San Diego Chargers. And someone in the room interrupts me. Like, it wasn't live, but we started the interview. We were recording. And he goes, the Saints? You mean the Saints? And you see it on the transcript. You see it. It's hilarious because I go, no, it was the Chargers. He was playing for the Chargers. That was his last game with the Chargers. And that guy shut up real quick.
Wow.
So
I cannot.
I don't know. I know I'm there for a reason. Like, I'm not, like,
you're not just a pretty face,
you know what I
Tory.
mean?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, right.
That is so maddening and so disrespectful. Like, even if that person was thinking it, to say that, to blurt that out mid-interview that you are conducting, that is unconscionable.
Right. If I just messed up my whole, when you're in the rhythm. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, if our listeners could see.
I think I impressed Dr. Andrews though. So yeah.
I'm sure you did.
Thanks,
wow.
Dr. Andrews. I appreciate you. Yeah.
That is incredible. Yeah. You knew your stuff. This is the point that women work our asses off to make sure we know our stuff because we want to be credible, because credibility is so hard to earn
exactly.
and so easy to lose as a woman in sports. So, wow. I mean, props to you for continuing on and being the pro that you are.
Thank you.
That would make me literally stop and be like, excuse me. Man, that makes my blood boil.
I think I was just so shocked that I was like, God.
Wow.
But hey, keep giving your mansplain moments because they're so cringe. And we love just hearing all the other ones because it makes us feel a lot better. We got one more thing. I lied. We got one more thing. James, do you want to share real quick? And then we can see if anyone wants to join us in this ridiculousness.
Yes. Okay. So Tory recently celebrated a milestone birthday. We went to Napa. We'll get into it later because it was just an epic.
We've been to Napa.
Epic trip. Napa Valley, heaven on earth. Ugh, could not recommend enough. But, as most Napa trips involve not, Tory thought that we should do a 3-minute plank, to offset all of the wine and all of the food that we were having. So we actually did it. And there were only 3 of us. The whole group, there were 8 of us, and there were only 3 of us.
It was 4 of us. It was 4 of us.
Oh, it was 4 of us. Okay, 4 of us. So half the group. That's still.
And I had gave everyone a heads up. We had been training. We had been practicing for this moment. And I just want to say
I did not practice, which is why it was brutal.
Wait, what?
No, I didn't practice planking before that. I don't like planking. That's not my jam.
Loser.
No, okay. I'm proud of you. I'm good. And that's why your form was better than mine. Anyway, we decided to do a 3-minute plank and we did it. We crushed it. So I guess
we did it.
We should probably do that again, maybe in this next week, just as part of this podcast journey. Yeah. And we challenge
if people want it, if that's what the people want.
We challenge all of you out there.
I have to shout out your husband.
Oh,
I have to shout out your husband, Matt Burkhardt, who was in the pool clocking us. And he would just go, hey, Tory, you're out a minute. And just like so cool, like so typical Matt, be like, hey, Tory. And I'd be like, yes, Matt. You're at 1:30. Thanks, buddy. So he kept us going. But yeah, shout out to Jamie. Shout out to myself. Shout out to Alan Weath for making the 3-minute challenge. So let's do it. Why not?
Let's do it.
Everyone.
Yes, everyone. That is your challenge.
Right, Jamie, take us home, babe.
Mamas or not, doesn't matter. Do the 3-minute plank and let us know how it goes for you. We will reconvene. We're going to try to drop an episode every Tuesday. So be sure to check it out. Put your notifications on. Subscribe wherever you get your local podcasts. And check us out on YouTube eventually. And yes, thanks again for watching and listening to Babes in Sports. I'm Jamie Hersch. She's Tory Z. Roy, and we will see you next time.
Thanks, guys.